Welcome back, everybody. Obviously, I just very much split this video in two, so I didn't want it to be one big, long video. So, this is the Spincast version, or Spincast portion of the two-part series. So, we're going to go over the current Spincast setups I got, my first one, my second setup, and then what I'm about to be transitioning on my bows to. So, stay tuned. So, I got away from the bottle reels. I do like them. I have nothing against them. They're fun. They're great to use. They're great beginning reel. What I personally started preferring, just due to the sheer, you retrieve a lot faster as far as like if you shoot, you miss. I can shoot 2 to the 1 with this style reel here. This is actually a Muzzy Pro Vice. Now, there are different variations of these. This was my first reel. That's a Spincast. It's the first one I ever got. So, this style reel, this reel in particular, I could shoot twice as fast, meaning I could shoot, retrieve, and shoot again 2 times as fast as the rest of the guys with me shooting a bottle reel. And that's why I really like these. So if you're shooting tournaments, the faster, especially number tournaments, the faster you can shoot, the better. This is exactly where this reel comes to shine. Another nice thing, you shoot a big fish, you got 50 yards of line versus 30. Actually, I think I'm exaggerating that a bit. You can squeeze 30 into a bottle reel, but I think the average is about 20, 25. So you got a lot more capacity on this reel. The one nice thing with the Muzzy Pro, you got a wider face here. So it's kind of similar to like the Mega Mouse. But this is at a price point considerably lower than a Mega Mouse. The reel itself, I want to say, is about $100. Now, I do have a Boondocks clicky stick on here. That's what this piece is here. Because traditionally, this style reel, you have to press a button on the back. You have to press it all the time, just like that Cajun winch. You have to press it all the time before you shoot. Otherwise, you're going to strip the pins out in this. This clicky stick. So what Boondocks Archery developed is, it bolts on the back, you take off your button, has, these are actually calf bands that you use to castrate a steer, or, well, it wanted to be a steer at the time, castrate a calf. So, I got 2 of them on there, so it doesn't matter how much tension you want on it, but just shoot. When you're ready to reel in, got your hand on here, right? So, you shoot, you got line coming out, you shoot, pull this back, click, right there it's engaged, just reel in that line. Let go, back to free line. You don't have to worry about pressing that button. So, shout out to Boondocks Archery. Amazing invention there. Really beneficial, especially if you're a new shooter and you're not going to remember clicking that. I want to say it's like 45 bucks. Worth the money, hands down. So, if you get the clicky stick, you get the reel. You're looking at about 140 bucks right there. Now, with these reels, you do need a reel seat. There are many different variations. I cannot remember the brand of this one. The downside of this style reel seat is, I don't know if you can see it here. This is from the last trip. That reel is actually a little cockeyed. You can't really see it too much there. Might be able to see it a little bit here. And that's from shooting it. You got to pull and torque down like this. Those nuts sometimes do come loose and the reel seat will twist. That is the downside of this style reel seat. I personally run a shoot through line guide. This is a TJE. They're great. Love them. I don't have any personal complaints with these, but I do shoot them on all my reel setups. I like this, with the exception of my Mega Mouse. But, so that was my biggest complaint with this one. So, that's that. Now, bow-wise, this is a Cajun sucker punch. It's constant draw. This one is it's 40 to 50 pounds. I personally shoot 50. It's just what I like. It's what I always shot. I shoot a lot of deep water, so I like that little extra punch. Some of the lakes I fish, we're shooting 8 to 10 foot deep. Not all the time. But we do have some shots that are stretched down that far. Having that poundage makes a world of difference on that depth. So, between that, sorry, got a little off on the bow here. This bow's, I want to say they're around like 250 to 300 bucks, bear bow. Mid-level. I can't complain with them. Never had any issues, and they never let me know. So, back to the reel. If you go to the reel, you get the rest, and you get the TJ shoot-through guide. You're probably looking around 160 bucks. So we're about on the same price point as the AMS. So still a solid setup. And a nice mid-class setup for someone that's getting a little bit more serious into it. I do like for all the guys that shoot with me, I do give them this is a Cajun whisker biscuit for bow fishing. The reason why I like that is whenever the guys are shooting, you can give this bow to anybody who may have not shot before, and you don't have to worry about them putting that knock in where you have the stop up here. If you're shooting slides, you don't have to worry about that stop being up top. And what I mean by that is if you're shooting a solid rest if this is upside down, you have your screw down on the bottom, it's going to hit that rest, it's going to bounce, it's going to kick that arrow, and it can potentially be dangerous for you, the shooter and or the other people on the vessel. With this, what I found is it goes through the whiskers, just let that slide through. So you still don't want to be shooting like that, but it gives a little bit of safety precaution. I try to be a little bit cautious on all aspects and like that. So I do shoot that for that reason. They do wear out. You have to replace about every 2 years. Not too bad. If you're shooting real heavy, you probably have to replace it every year. But for the most part, the people that use these bows, they're getting used maybe once a weekend. Not that hard. So anything you will need that is in addition to these, and I forgot about this, where the AMS reels have, the bottle reels have, they have a built-in arrow holder. These do not. There's a couple different options. You get one that mounts on the string, or you can get one that's mounted on the riser where the bottle reel would mount. These can be anywhere from like 40 to 50 bucks if you get one that can also serve as an arrow puller. And by arrow puller, you basically wrap your line around it and you pull rather than trying to use your hands. So that is this setup. I'd say I probably got about 450 bucks, $450 on this setup. Like I said, mid level, can't complain. Now, my personal bow that I use, you know, you get into bow fishing, you see everyone use them. It's the Cadillac. You see the lever bow, everybody wants one. They're nice. I have nothing bad to say about lever bows. You do have to be aware that you do have to set timing on them. If you're not aware of that, drop a comment. I can explain to that better what that is and show you how to do it. I didn't know that when I first got into lever bows. And what it basically caused was, well, there's two issues I had actually. It wasn't timed correctly, and my end loops on my string were a little bit too wide. So whenever I would actually draw back and get like this, there was occasions where the bowstring here that I'm holding on to would actually pop off the limbs. And basically what that turns this into is pretty much a spring-loaded bomb. This thing would blow up, limbs would go flying, cables would go flying, everything would fly off this bow. Sound like a 22 going off, because again, I shoot 50 pounds, I don't shoot light, probably should, I don't. And it would scare everybody around you. And honestly, it's very dangerous because you had an arrow in there normally, and that would go flying. It just made an ever-loving mess. Then you're on the boat trying to, piece the thing back together. It's just ruined your whole night from the start. But enough about the bow, about the reel. This is the Cadillac of reels, from most people's opinion. And I will say it is nice. It's a Mega Mouth 2.0. This one's been powder coated and everything. It's nice. I can't really complain about it. My biggest gripe with it, and I'll show you guys this, I got big hands. Whenever I'm shooting, now you can't cheat it forward, but I got cheated forward. I got one more notch forward I could go, but if I got another notch forward, I'm kind of stretching for it. But right here, let's see, I can actually probably show it better on this angle. So my biggest gripe is, whenever I shoot, you got to reach forward and you got to grab this knuckle. That's how you pull. Now, it doesn't take a lot of pull to get it reeling in. It doesn't take a lot to engage that, but it's that fact right there. I try to lift my fingers out, I'm hitting. Now, I actually moved this forward since last time I was shooting. Last time I was shooting, I actually had to go like this, pull my hand, rotate it backwards, out, forward, and grab. It's a little annoying. It's a little cumbersome. I personally prefer like the clicky stick style better with the Muzzy Pro. In my opinion, that just fits me better. It's a lot more, I guess I could probably use one finger, but I don't know. It just always seems like two fingers are better on these. I don't know. But that's my personal only complaint with the Mega Mouth. They normally come with a reel seat. It's a special reel seat. You flip this, you can pop your guide off immediately right there. Now I do got this one running a little farther forward right now. And that's because, and it's adjustable, which is nice. And it locks in, which is nice. This reel, like the other reel seat, can also twist. There's nothing stopping it. That's the only downside. It does got a tack rail mount for the Mega Mouth, so it mounts and dismounts and mounts very easily. So that's nice in that sense. I do shoot a Boondocks Arrow Rest. Now, like I said, this one is a solid one. Just because it's my bow, I'm more alert and aware on those knocks. So I'm not, or the slide stops, sorry. So I'm not as worried about myself making a mishap. Now, have I done it? Yes. Have I done it lately? No, probably not in the last 5 years. So I'm pretty comfortable with myself using it. I don't have issues. The only thing I'll probably do different with this, if I ever do it again and get another one, this one's open on top, makes faster reloads. My downside with it, I'd get a solid one, because what I do often find, I'm not going to fully draw here because I don't want this accident to go off in the house. But when I would draw, I would actually, so you kind of start pulling back. I had a tendency to hold my finger on here and try to keep the arrow seated. So when you're sitting like this, it doesn't go like this. That's the complaint. If you're sitting there a long day, you have your arm just kind of hanging, it has a tendency to do that. Well, if you accidentally turn, you got to pick it up. Look where that arrow just went. So I would definitely get a full containment in the future if I ever would replace this one. Now, it was just me. That's my own preference. That's what I did. Now, I use a Gargod on this one. This is an arrow puller and arrow holder. So built aluminum. Can't complain. Works right. I mean, personally, you just wrap the line around it a couple times. You pull on the drag, engage the reel. You pull. You almost pull your arrow out of everything. It's nice because you're using you got the grip of the bow to do the work for you. You're not putting a line directly on your hand like you would a bottle reel. So that's this setup. Now, if you're looking to get into something like this, brand new, you're looking, I want to say, you're going to be pushing $1,200, $1,300 if you find a good deal. Bow I bought brand new is $900 with an AMS reel. The reel I bought used, it was $300. So I still got the AMS reel from it. So, but if I sold the AMS reel, say I get $75 out of it, I have probably about $1,100 on this. You can find these reels used, but they're still a couple $100. They are expensive. Everyone says they're heavy. Not so much. I mean, whenever you break them all down, they're really not that bad. But nice reels. So now, what I am transitioning to, and so all these bows I just showed you tonight, they will actually all have new reels on them. And these reels are, again, from Boondock Archery. And what they are, is actually one hanging right here. This is, I don't got an arrow holder on this bow yet, so pardon that. So this reel is a Zebco Pro. This is a saltwater edition. I don't currently shoot salt, but I do want to go down and go for stingray sometime. And because of that, I decided to go straight for basically the best one I could get on this model that he had to offer. He does not offer these on his website. It is a special request. But basically, as you can see, he goes through them and reupholsters them with a lot of fancy stuff. He puts on his clicky stick, he redoes a lot of it, and I want to say, actually I'm not going to say the price because there are special reported, but you get custom colors too. It's awesome. The drag's nice on them. It reels in easy, so you just click it, and he's got that clicky stick again with the calf bands. And the nice thing with the calf bands, Tractor Supply 100 pack for $5, can't beat it. You can roll around with 100 of them in your boat. It's not taking up any space, not taking up any doesn't really take any money, any capital. The nice thing is, so it's got, let's get a little closer there. So you see the clicky stick there, you reach up, grab, you're reeling in, you're done. Ready to shoot again, release. Good to go, you're ready to shoot. That line is free flowing. Ready to reel, click it. Pardon the noise here for a second, I'm gonna drop an arrow. Click it. So, shot, I click, grab the reel. Oh, I'm actually stuck, but you reel. Of course, that arrow would fall underneath one of my other bows sitting on the ground. So, that's what I'm going to be shooting this year. I'm going to be putting these reels on all my bows. Now, with this style reel, you do have to have a reel seat again. So what I actually opted for, and this was with a lot of studying, was the Muzzy Vice. And what made me like the Muzzy Vice is the way it attaches to the riser. It has a bracket that cradles it. It cannot, no matter what I do, will not twist. The biggest complaint I have with it, and give me a second here, I got one, is, so they are adjustable. They're quick release, so you can swap a reel out in seconds, which is great. If you're tournament shooting, you will have an extra reel with you. You can adjust in here. This adjusts how much tension is on your lever. So pull it open. It's open right there. See that slide going there? That's open. It's ready to put a reel in. This is my only complaint with these reels. So you put it in, click it. That reel's now locked in. It's not going to go anywhere, but I'm real OCD and I'm like a perfectionist. I don't like stuff rattling. And if you listen, hear that? That'll drive me insane. If you're like me, it's going to do the same. I see a lot of people saying they don't know what to do. They don't know what to do. So I, unfortunately, do not have a pair here. But what I found, so even with this adjusted max, you can't get it tightened down enough where this does not rattle. This is a heavy rest. That's about the biggest downside to it. Compared to other styles, I believe there's one other brand, I think it's Ace, and I think there's now a Graptor out there, it's called, that will not rotate. This one I originally went with, I had different plans for the bows, and, well, needless to say, I'm still going to use them, but I could have wanted a different option to probably save some weight, and I do got the TJE shoot-through guide again, so, like I said, I'm a fan of those guides. But, once you click it, it does lock, it stays there, but, downside, real rattles. So what do you do to fix that? Those Muzzy vices, the only thing I found is no matter how much adjustment you do, even with the Muzzy Pro that rest was designed for, still has that issue. That bow I showed you on that first Cajun, still has that issue. So what I found, take yourself a pair of pliers, and that tab right here, on the bottom of your Spincast reel here, just take that and give it a slight little cock down. That slight little bit bend, I mean very slight. You don't want to get carried away because you still want this to go in and out easy. And look at this. Nothing at all. And pop it loose. Now, just so you guys can see, I'm not exaggerating here, and I'll try to get this out. I got this one, I do got this one a little snug. So right there, reels out. So just to show you that I'm not jerking your chain here with these, and that this does work. I'm gonna make a mess because I still got that air tight on. Here's that reel we just had on the last little one. I put that in, I'm gonna click it. Look at it, look. Still rattles. It'll drive you insane over a night of bow fishing. At least it would drive me insane. So, now if I can get this out again, I always struggle with this part because they always go down a lot easier than they do come out. Weird. So, as you can see, there is a little bit more curve on this bracket here. So that's what I did. I just, little slight bend. I figured, the way I looked at it, I was like, can't make it worse. So I gave it a shot. My other plan was I was going to CNC, or, well, I shouldn't say CNC, trying to cut out of a piece of flat bar, a new slide to make it a little snugger. And I don't have to do that because that little bend, no more rattling. Perfect. So, save myself a lot of headache with a 2-second solution. And as I said, you click it, you reel, you're done. So, if you guys would like to see more on this reel, I do plan on giving a more detailed follow-up on how I actually like them once we get using them. Right now, it's just all, you know, in the shop, in the yard, just goofing around with them. So far, I like them a lot. They retrieve great. I don't know if they're quite as fast as the Muzzy Pro, but they still retrieve very fast. And nice thing is, Zebco, there's parts everywhere and they're cheap. You can get parts cheap. So I am going to have replacement parts for them on my boat. And I'm actually going to keep one reel as a spare for tournament season. And the reason being, say something breaks on one, I pop it, get this loose, pop this out, lift it up. Should be this long. Pop it out. I drop in a new reel. Fish that line back through that guide. Put a new arrow on. I got a guy shooting again with it. Probably within a minute if I get enough practice of this. So I'm looking forward to using these. I'm very excited. So anyway, thanks for tuning in to Wet Dreamz Outdoors. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions on any of the setups I just showed, I will have a lot of these reels still for at least probably the first month of bow fishing season before I start getting rid of them. And by getting rid of them, I mean the AMS bottle reels. I'm going to start posting some of those for sale, and probably the Mega Mouth even, honestly, just because I have that much confidence in these reels that I'm not going to need all those other reels anymore moving forward. And if for some reason these don't pan out the way I would like, I'll probably just switch over to the Muzzy Pros. Because I do have experience with them. I know they are hit and miss as far as issues. Some people say they're horrible. Some people say they're great. Mine personally, never had a problem with it, so I like it. Now, I'm not saying I might not get a bad one, but I fully anticipate myself and the guys I shoot with to love these Zeb Pros from Boondocks Archery. I mean, the clicky sticks, everything, it's great. They don't have to worry about pressing buttons. They don't have to do any of that. It retrieves fast with this line. So, give me 1 second to come back. So, with these style reels, you cannot use the bottle reel style line. The bottle reel style line is thick, it's cushiony. And that's meant so it doesn't cut into your hands. These reels use 200-pound braid. It's not hand line. If you get a lot of tension on this and you pull, this is like cheese wire. It cuts into your hands. And particularly when your arrow is stuck and you're trying to pull it out of that mud. You're trying to get it out of that dirt. You wrap that line around your hand. Most of the time, or I wrap it, I go like this. I pull like this. You can see where it's at. It's going to cut you into here. It's going to cut into here. It's not a pleasant experience, especially when you're shooting in mud. You got a lot of bacteria in there. You got a lot of dirt, and it puts it right into your skin, and it feels great the next day. So, what I started doing, and this has actually been a huge lifesaver. Get yourself a pair of little fishing gloves, fingerless fishing gloves. You still feel the line, you still shoot, it's great. It's got a little bit of leather reinforcement here. These ones are Cast King, I never used them yet. It's got a little bit of padding though, so what it does is it takes that line away from your skin, so it's not cutting into your skin. Let that glove take the abuse. So that's my recommendation if you would go with the reelless style. Especially if you grew up on bottle reels and you're used to getting stuck and you just reach out, you grab that line and you pull. Those gloves will save your hands. It's worth it. Spend extra 20, 30 bucks. You can even get Fish Monkey, I think they're 30 bucks. But they save your hands, and that is worth it at the end of the night. Plus, when you're handling fish, you don't gotta worry about getting quotas back, which is kind of nice. Unless you like the pain, you're a little bit into that stuff. But, never know what floats your boat. Alright guys, so that concludes the two-part series, the bottle reel portion and the Spincast portion. Thank you for watching Wet Dreamz Outdoors. Love you. Like and subscribe. God bless, and good night. Oh, hey, yeah, one more thing. Wet Dreamz.